going on, everybody? Welcome back. My name is UnrealEntGaming, and welcome back to another episode of this week's Fan Mail of the Week. Finally, we are officially in June, which means the summer is about to kick off. It always kicks off with June, of course. I mean, May has been awesome. May was just chock full of surprises. We had Jason Voorhees appear in Mortal Kombat. We had the Avengers 2. We had Revival of F. We had a whole bunch of awesome stuff. And, of course, June is going to be a month of awesome stuff as well. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. For those of you out there doing awesome stuff for the summer, let me know what you guys are planning on doing and or are doing right now. Because for me, I swear to God, I'm going to be hitting the beaches so much this year. I mean, literally, I've been freaking pasty white for like 15,000 years now, and I'm getting real sick and tired of just going to work and coming back and going to work and coming back. Hell no. This year, I'm planning on taking Paul, and I'm planning on dumping him in the water, possibly sending him out there in the middle of the ocean. Hopefully, he gets eaten by sharks. And before I begin, everybody, once again, I do want to say, if any of you guys want to play some Xenoverse today, I'll be playing this entire weekend, actually, in case you guys want to battle, along with Mortal Kombat. If you guys want to throw down on some MK, let me know, and I will sure to invite you. I'll be sure to invite you guys. Hopefully you guys have some of the DLCs that are out. And before we begin, I do want to say, if you guys haven't already done so, please go on ahead and check out my second channel at UnrealEnt Network. On there, you're going to find a whole bunch of awesome stuff that you guys will not find on here. I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys already know that. Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Battlefield, Dragon Ball Z, and a whole bunch of other goodies on there as well. So, let's begin with this week's official question, kicking off the month, actually, which I'm very excited about, because hopefully after Fan Mail is done, I'm going to be going off and probably going to the movies again. I do want to see Age of Ultron one more time before they decide to just, pull the movie, because you guys know how movies go, like within about like a month or two they start pulling movies. So let's begin with our first question of the day, which is from Actor Ben. Hey Alex, I hope this goes on Fan Mail. I'm sure you get hundreds of messages, but I hope this one pulls through. So here are my questions. Alright bro, here we go. Question number 1. If you had to go back to any time period in history and begin to live your life from that timeline, which time would you choose and why? Question number 2. If you could live forever, what would you continue to do? Question 3. Any advice you would give to a young up-and-coming football player who wants to make it into the NFL, like myself? Well, I'm assuming your name is Ben, so thank you for the questions, Ben. If not, I apologize, for I do not know your name, young one. But to answer your first question, that is a very good question, because more often than not, a lot of people would love to go back to the 90s and to the 80s. I mean, that was like the golden era for like many things. Great movies, great music, great entertainment. The simplistic life, you know what I'm saying? Going out to like, the drive-in movie theaters, taking the trolley, doing a whole bunch of awesome stuff. But for me, I would have to say, if I had to go back, I would definitely start off with the 70s. And the reason why I say that is because the 70s age was more of an age where, you would just chill. You had all of these pot conventions, and like they were trying to legalize pot. So I would love to see all of the protests and stuff that went on during that time period. And of course, living my life through the 80s and just, like that would be like the pinnacle right there. Going out to every single disco hall, going out to every single club and just dancing with like a billion bitches and like just boogieing it down on some good ass music. Wow, this is going to make me want to play San Andreas. Well, excuse me, Vice City. Fuck. I always get those two confused. Yeah, this is making me want to go play fucking both games, actually. Starting off with Vice City and San Andreas. Damn it. But yeah, I mean, and then you have the 90s, which you had, I mean, the 90s was self-explanatory, literally. From the beginning of the golden age of video games to TV shows to movies and whatnot. So, I would have to say, beginning with the 60s, well, the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But if I also had to choose one more, I would probably go back to like the 50s. I mean, it was a really tough time to live during those ages, but it was like an age of peace. Like in an essence, at least, the 50s and 60s were like, like the kickoff ages for like the UFOs and stuff like that. Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster, all sorts of stuff. So imagine me like strolling through the streets in the fucking 60s, like fuck you, Squid, and somebody just like beating me with like a fucking baton. Or like some fucking wacky tacky shit. But I mean, within that time period, I would have to say, of course, I mean, I wouldn't want to go back to the medieval days, because I mean, how the hell would I survive? I would survive by freaking eating raccoons and like coconuts for the rest of my life and having sex with like wildebeests. I mean, I don't think that's gonna work out for me, to be honest. So, I mean, like if I had to choose a time period, I mean, that would be it. I would choose the 70s, 80s, 90s. relive my 2000s and up to currently. So I'd probably be old as fuck too. But I mean, either way, if I wasn't aging, then hell yeah, I would take those years into consideration and I would live them to my fullest. Which correlates to your second question. If I could live forever, what would I continue to do? I would masturbate for eternity. No, I'm just kidding. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine just somebody living forever and all they do is just masturbate? That would be horrible. What a life to live. If I could live forever, what would I continue to do? I would continue to do this. Knowing that I can't die, I would do fan mail every day. I would answer your questions every single day without being tired or depleted or hungry or having to worry about sleep. I would sit here and I would provide you guys with the most awesome of stuff. Of course, I would want to do other things as well. I would love to. I don't know. This is just me per se, but I really want to help like the homeless population, because where I live here in Queens/Brooklyn, I see a lot of homeless people, and sometimes I really wish that I was rich, because there's this one lady in particular that I see every day when I go to the gym, and she's like an elderly lady, and she's literally like, she has garbage bags for shoes. And I remember I gave her I gave her $10 one time, and I mean, that was all I had. I had a choice. I can either go to the local Spanish restaurant and get myself some chicken and rice, or I can just give her the $10. I gave her the $10, and I was just like, you know what, it is what it is. I mean, that person can use it more than I can, and I'm not saying that to gloat or anything, but that's something I would love to personally do, even while I'm alive right now. If I ever become rich, I definitely want to help homeless people, because I really think it's fucked up. These people, they're human beings as well. They deserve second chances at life. And if I was making PewDiePie money, if I was making Bill Gates money, if I was making Floyd Mayweather money, of course I would get myself a nice house, some nice equipment to record with, some nice clothes for once, because I never go clothes shopping. But I would also go out and help out those in need. And that's just my personal preference, because I remember I was struggling at a certain point, going through welfare and the Goodwill system. A lot of you guys don't know that, but I went through my fair share of downs, and I wouldn't want to see anybody go through that. So if I had to live forever, I would definitely try to help as many people out as possible, knowing that I'm the only one that can live forever. I would try to do as much as I can. Aside from that, I would also try to work out forever to become like the most physically gifted human being on the planet, of course, without steroids, because everything these days involves steroids. I mean, look at the UFC, look at boxing and shit. It's just been going off the fucking hinges. But needless to say, I mean, there's so many things I would love to do. Knowing that I can live forever and can't die, I would go bungee jumping without a bungee rope. I would go skydiving without a parachute, I would definitely go skydiving and imitate a Dragon Ball Z battle, even though I know the other person can't live forever and he'd die. I would still, crash land onto the earth and act as if I got hurt. I would get up like, damn it, like, it'll be so freaking hilarious. But, and to answer your third and final question, any advice to give to a person who wants to make it into the NFL? Well, you have to understand this. There are a lot of people out there who want to, compete in the NFL as well. What separates many athletes is devotion, ambition, and pretty much defining yourself through character. How bad do you want to succeed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to be a wrestler, and I'm striving my hardest to become that and make it to the top. And there are a lot of other wrestlers out there that I have to compete with, but that's just the nature of the business. Same thing with the NFL. You're going to have to compete with the best running backs, with the best linebackers, with the best, defensive offmen. You're going to have to, like, really bust your ass to make sure that whatever position you play it within the best of your ability so you can get drafted. One thing is key, and that's consistency. The moment you start to give up on yourself is the moment you start to fail. I actually learned that the hard way. So you don't want to do that. Don't listen to anybody, whether it's negative or positive, because sometimes people feed you a lot of positive shit and it turns out to be negative, and sometimes people want to feed you negative shit and it turns out to be negative either way. You start putting yourself down and stuff. So just focus on yourself. And make sure that you improve every little aspect of the word when it comes to your body. Improve your footing, improve your agility, improve everything about you, your overall endurance and stuff, because the NFL is no joke. The NFL is like strictly endurance, cardio, and speed. In order for you to get there, you're gonna have to be the best when it comes to physical shape. There are many Division 1, 2, and 3 players out there that are trying to make it, and there are many players that are really good and they still don't get drafted. It's pretty hard. Be very unique and dedicate your life to this, because if you only dedicate half of half of your life to this, you're really not going to make it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So just push on forward with that, and if you just so happen to succeed, you know, I'll hopefully one day, hopefully if God blesses me, I'll be there for a game, and maybe we can yell out "fuck you, whale," and then we can get the other team distracted and they can lose. So, but anyways, Ben, once again, thank you for the questions, my friend, and I hope you had an amazing and awesome weekend, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Get Trolled, bro. Alex, it's fan mail time. I have some questions for you, man, so I hope you can answer. All right, here we go. Question number 1. What are your thoughts on WrestleMania 32, and what do you expect to see? Question 2. What are some of your dream cars to have non-expensive? Okay. Well, to answer your first question, WrestleMania 32, I'm hearing a whole bunch of shit about WrestleMania 32. I'm hearing that The Undertaker is going to have his final match at WrestleMania 32. I'm hearing that Sting might wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32. I'm hearing that it might be The Rock versus Triple H. I'm hearing that Roman Reigns might, you know, win his big WrestleMania title match against whoever at WrestleMania. You know, so right now it's pretty much unknown to what they're gonna do. But I'm pretty sure I have like an overall like rough draft on how this is going to come about. Perhaps maybe I can definitely see you know, Triple H versus The Rock at WrestleMania, or perhaps even have you know, Sting versus The Undertaker as a, you know, sub-card event. I mean, you're going to have those two matches, which is going to be big. Stone Cold Steve Austin, can you imagine if he had one more match? I mean, who would he wrestle is the question. I mean, CM Punk is no longer there, so who would he wrestle is beyond, right now, is beyond debate. That leaves John Cena. I mean, where is John Cena going to be? Is he going to be in the main event? Is he going to be in the mid-card? Same thing with Seth Rollins. Is Seth Rollins going to be in the main event? There's a big rumor. Oh, crap, I just dropped my marker. Fuck. There's a big rumor that it might be Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns for the title, and like a Shield 3-way. That was recommended by a few guys, actually, and I think creative might actually go about that. But even if it does, it'll be very interesting, because where does that leave Brock Lesnar? I would love to see Brock, you know, wrestle, you know, whoever. Maybe perhaps Seth Rollins, Brock versus Seth, or perhaps maybe, you know, Brock Lesnar versus, you know, I don't know, Jushin Thunder. Like, can you imagine that? I don't know. It's just like that. Everything right now is up in arms. I mean, Daniel Bryan with his neck situation, it's horrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, many things could happen. I mean, because you have to incorporate Adrian Neville, Sheamus, Wade Barrett, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, Bray Wyatt, you know, the New Day, the Ascension, Cesaro and Tyson Kidd, Kalisto and Sin Cara. You have to incorporate all of these aspects, including the NXT guys, Sami Zayn, even though he's out with shoulder injury, Hideo Itami, which is he's out by shoulder injury as well. Who knows? I mean, maybe Uhaa Nation will get like a little spotlight feature at WrestleMania, perhaps maybe in a battle royal, or maybe even, you know, Kevin Owens or something like that. So, like I said, guys, I mean, anything and anything can pretty much happen during that time frame, because I mean we have a lot to go. We have like about what? We have about 6, 7, 8, 9. We have about like 9 to 10 months until this actually happens. So anything could happen. It's going to be in Dallas, Texas, I believe. So it's going to be big. It really is. And to answer your second question, some of my dream cars to have. Okay, non-expensive. Well, I have a friend who's really big into cars, and she always talks about the Evo 9 and how it's legitimately one of the, you know, best cars to have when it comes to racing and stuff like that. And I don't know how much that's, I really don't know how true that is. If anybody's a car fanatic, let me know between the difference of a Subaru, I believe it is, a Subaru, whatever the fuck. Subaru, there we go, Subaru. I'm like Sabu. Yeah, so let me know the difference between the Evo and the you know, Subaru, because a lot of these racing heads over here in New York love to compare them. So I mean, aside from that, I would have to say the Evo 9, I guess. I don't know. If we're talking more modern cars, I would have to say the 2015 I guess you could say the 2015 Ford Fusion looks pretty cool. I don't know. I'm just not too big into like regular cars. Like I'm into like the big, like Lamborghini Aventador, kind of cars, and like the Bugatti A9s and stuff like that. So, but those are like really expensive. I know for a fact that I'm never gonna have one. I mean, because why in the world would I want to waste hundreds of thousands of dollars on a freaking sports car like that? It makes no sense. Horrible investment. I don't know how Floyd Mayweather does it. He has like 87 cars, and they're all like Bugattis and Rolls Royces and Lambos and Ferraris and Porsches and stuff like that. So obviously he has money, but like wasting millions of dollars on cars is just not my thing. So anyways, Mr. Trolled, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you in another episode, my friend. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Salvin. Alex, this is for fan mail. Do you think if they make Xenoverse 2, do you think our custom characters can turn evil because of Toa is still alive? Well, very good question. To answer that question, if Xenoverse 2 comes out, which it will, it's going to be the best game ever because of the incorporation of Dragon Ball Super, because of the incorporation of Revival of F, because of, the influence behind Beerus and Whis, Goku and Vegeta, the new transformations, everything that's going to happen, the new enemies, the new heroes, the new gods, everything is going to be in there. I mean, I would love for our custom characters to have an option whether or not to be good or evil. I think that would really set the tone for the game. Although I would love for the game to have more customizable features about it as well. Different hairstyles, different fighting tactics, different aura colors and stuff like that. Like, I think that'll be incredible. But as for our characters becoming evil based on Toa being alive, I mean that's up for debate, because why in the world would your character even turn evil to begin with? That would demeanor the entire story, because now there is no story. I mean, the only person left is Trunks, and he was the one that wished you to come to the, that dimension to save time. That was the entire point of the story. Unless, of course, they decide to have co-op and they have another player join. But I think Xenoverse 2 is going to be one of the best games, if not the best Dragon Ball Z game ever, based on everything that they're going to incorporate. Perhaps maybe a better engine, more what-if characters and stuff like that. That'll be so cool to see. I mean, Xenoverse 1, till this day, still blows my mind. And for anybody out there in which case it doesn't blow their mind, I don't see what the hell's wrong with you, because Xenoverse is a great game, and as Xenoverse 2 comes out, they ought to make the story more interesting. I really believe that they're going to incorporate the Dragon Ball Super story, and they're going to incorporate that with all the new action scenes and villains and stuff like that might come about. I would love to see Demigra appear again, but of course, I mean, I feel as if he's been taken out for good. Mira and Toa, perhaps both of them returning, given the fact that one of them still survived the ending. So either way, it's going to be amazing. But I do feel as if our characters should have an option to turn good or evil, because at least it'll provide you with something different. Although I feel as if if you became evil, it wouldn't really serve that big of a purpose, because where would the story go from there? Who are you going to battle? You're going to battle Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Whis? I mean, it'll be awesome to see. But I mean, like I said, it all depends on the story arc and where they decide to go. So, but anyways, Mr. Salvin, thank you for the questions, my friend, and I hope you have a very, very awesome and epic day, bro. And now moving on to the next question, which is from Holy Shit Omar. Wow, that's a lot. Hey, Alex, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. How are you? I have a couple of questions for Fan Mail of the Week. I really hope you hear me out. This is my 4th time. Well, you are here. All right, question number 1. So for Dragon Ball Super, do you believe that we will see some wars, maybe the Z Fighters versus other universes, or a multiverse tournament, or a God tournament? Question number 2, in Dragon Ball Super, do you think that other characters such as Goten, Trunks, Piccolo, Gohan, even Tien and Krillin, do you think that they will get some sort of power-ups to make them at least at a comparable level to Goku and Vegeta and the gods? Question 3, if you could fuse multiple Dragon Ball Z games to make the perfect one, what would they be? For me, I would do Burst Limit, Art Style, Xenoverse, Super/Ultimate Style, Xenoverse and Raging Blast, mix of combat, and a personal touch of my completely destructible environment. Okay. So you're saying environment destruction. Perfect. Complete environment destruction, by the way. Question 4, I have a girlfriend and she doesn't like that I watch anime. Kill her! No, imagine. I'm kidding. She said that it's perverted, and I think that she might break up with me if I don't stop. We're really into each other, and I don't want to break up with her. Should I leave anime or stay with her? Well, oh my god. Or should I try to get into her anime so she could see that it's great? Please help me. Question 5. I don't believe in the Illuminati. I think it's complete bogus. I do believe some worldwide problems were scripted, like the Ebola. But I do not think that everything is broadcasted is a plea to brainwash people to this new world order, quote unquote. What do you think? I hope you have a great day. And if this one doesn't get answered, there will be a numero 5. Oh boy, peace. Thank you, Omar. Well, to answer your first question, well, I mean, all we know right now is that we're going to be getting a few episodes here and there, but there is lots of, speculation on what may happen 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th season into this. I'm pretty sure that we're going to encounter other deities from other dimensions, perhaps alternative realities. I would love to see a god tournament, but then again, why would the gods hold a tournament when they're already powerful enough? Even though they know how to, leave well another alone, why would they even have a tournament amongst each other is beyond me. Perhaps maybe a multiverse tournament, yeah, but a god tournament with all the gods being featured on there, I really don't think that's possible. I mean, because why would it be? Wars, definitely. I do believe like there are going to be certain situations where war is going to be dragged into this, whether it be with an entire race of beings or whether or not the Saiyans come back or what have you. But Goku and Vegeta they're actually ready. I mean, the only thing that baffles me is how they fought Whis in Revival of F. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but I mean, Whis literally tagged both of them. He beat the piss out of both of them, and it was quite sad to see, actually, because knowing how powerful they both are, Whis was still able to just pretty much destroy both of them and level them. I'll never forget when Vegeta first tried to charge at him. Hold on, let me just get my water. I'm so thirsty. When Vegeta tried charging at Whis, excuse me, I have to drink my water. It's so beautiful, yeah. Oh my god. That was literally the most delicious thing I've ever tasted in my life. God bless water. Anyways, so yeah. Whis, the way he fought Vegeta, like Vegeta tried to charge at him and, Whis just wasn't having it, so he bitched him out, threw him in the water. Same thing with Goku. So, it's going to be very interesting to see if there is going to be a fighter who is comparable to Whis, because Whis is the most powerful being ever in that entire, complexity of the universe, Universe 7. Nobody can touch him. He's number 1. Everybody else falls dead last. So, for Dragon Ball Super, I do believe that there might be a person who is worthy enough of Whis' technique to challenge him on a similar caliber. So, that's going to be very, very interesting to see if that happens, of course. To answer your second question, as for the rest of the Z fighters, damn, that's actually kind of hard to answer because Krillin's a cop, Piccolo has been reverted to be a babysitter, Trunks and Goten are unknown at this point, Gohan's a dad. So for them to have power levels at least comparable to Goku and Vegeta and the gods, it's not logical. It's not happening. I'm sorry. None of those characters, aside from probably Gohan, is going to be anywhere near Goku and Vegeta. So, I mean, it is kind of sad to hear and to say, but needless to say, that's not going to happen. You're not going to see any of those characters get like a huge power upgrade where they're going to be on the same level. I really doubt that, especially with the way they've been handling themselves. I don't see that happening at all. So, to answer your third question, personally for me, to have the ultimate Dragon Ball Z game, you're going to have to incorporate mechanics that allow people to just customize their character fully. I firmly believe that allowing the players to customize, the optional hairstyles, the way, you want the hair to look, the color of their aura, the color of their eyes, very, very similar to Xenoverse, except to the 10th degree. I mean, again, just allowing players to have their own option to customize all areas of a character's, body or whatnot, like their clothing and whatnot. So I think that'll be really awesome to incorporate height, weight, their muscular singularities, if they're going to be fat, skinny, anorexic, if they want to, look like a fusion, if they want to look like, whatever the case may be. Full customizable options, I think would be really awesome. For example, what if some people don't like the way the color of a Kamehameha wave looks. Like, they're able to change that and allow it to be yellow, green, blue, purple, white, black, you know, like, that'll be really, really awesome in my opinion. So definitely have a full variety of character customizable options. Another great aspect I would say is full environment destruction. If I grab you by the leg and I'm going to throw you through a mountain, I want to see that entire mountain break, and if you're going to crash onto the ground, I want to see craters, but not craters that are going to like go away eventually once you continue the battle. I'm talking about like full giant craters and whatnot. Like, if, for example, if I'm going to throw a spirit bomb and I'm going to miss, I want to see like giant chunks of the land just completely be disintegrated from that bomb, you know what I'm saying? So I think full customizable options is definitely the first one. The second one is full environment destruction. They didn't really have that in Xenoverse as much, and the reason why I say that is because, number one, perfect example, if you go to the West City, if you go to the Capsule Core place, you're literally a supernatural being, and you can't break these buildings. Why aren't you allowed to break these buildings? You know what I'm saying? If you have all of this unmitigated power, how come you're not allowed, or at least you can't be able to just bust through buildings or like trees or stuff like that? So it really doesn't make any sense to me. Another like aspect I would have would be to incorporate both the Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and the Xenoverse fighting mechanics within the game itself. I personally loved both of their fighting mechanics. I actually favor Xenoverse over Budokai Tenkaichi 3 a little bit, and I think that'll play a very essential role, especially with like building a game per se, because in order to have the perfect Dragon Ball Z game, you're going to have different combinations, you're going to have different, you know, variety of grapples and strikes and stuff like that, and every character in Xenoverse had their own. So that's one way of me saying that I love the game so much, because every character was a little bit different. But yeah, I mean, that would be it as of right now. But if I had to combine certain games, I would definitely incorporate Raging Blast 2, Dragon Ball Xenoverse, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1, and Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3. That would just be my little option right there for creating the perfect Dragon Ball Z game. I mean, but then again, I mean, we can't really be so certain that another greater game might emerge later down the road, because we really don't know as of right now whether or not there's going to be like this giant, holy grail of Dragon Ball Z games set to come out this year, next year, whatever the case may be. Whenever it decides to drop, it'll be big. Of course, if it's a follow-up to Xenoverse 2, that'll be amazing. But needless to say, I mean, that would be my little opinion on just, the perfect Dragon Ball Z game per se. And definitely have like an entire roster just like filled from like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, Dragon Ball Super, and Dragon Ball What If characters. Like that'll be like just amazing to have an entire roster like that filled with like almost 200 plus characters would be absolutely like mind-blowing. So to follow up with your next question, your girlfriend hates the anime that you watch. All right, well, what are some of the animes that you watch that is allowing her to stray away from you? Because if you're saying that she watches anime too, what's the problem? I mean, anime is always going to be anime. Like, anybody in the comment section who wants to disagree, let me know right now. I mean, anime will always be anime, so why is she disagreeing with you? Why is she giving you a hard time over something so mediocre as to like, oh, you're not watching my anime, you suck, I'm going to break up with you? Like, that makes no sense. Unless, of course, you're watching, like, anime porn or something. I don't know. But, I mean, really, what I think you ought to do is allow her to just sit there with you one day and just get to explain to her what your anime means to you and what exactly it's all about. And hopefully she can actually just invest a little bit of her time into believing the hype per se and just getting into it herself. And then vice versa. If you want to get into the shows that she likes, do that, because that's compromise. And you want to make sure that you have that compromise level within your relationship, because you don't really want to break that, man. Don't break up with her either. I mean, don't allow her to break up with you either, because this is something so silly. But again, just get into each other's anime shows, and I would have to say also get into a mutual anime show. For example, if neither one of you ever watched Attack on Titan, if you guys want, give it a try together, and if you both just so happen to like it, there you go. I mean, that's at least one connection you'll have in terms of the anime realm. But I really don't think like anything should escalate beyond breakup, because that'll be like the most stupidest thing in the world for somebody to break up with somebody else based off of a show. I really don't think that's logical. But for me, I would say get into her anime, let her get into yours, and then, you know, to just marinate everything, just make sure you guys find a mutual anime show that you guys never watched before and watch it together. I mean, that's all I can say in terms of that aspect. Especially if you like her the way you do, there's no reason why you guys can't settle it. So, and to answer your final question, all right, well, I respect your opinion completely. I understand where you're coming from in terms of it being quote-unquote bogus. But you also have to remember, my question to you is, what is the government's job in life? Is to keep secrets. They're professional liars. Why would they want to tell you, right, as an individual, what's really going on? Who the hell are you? Who the hell am I? Who the hell is anybody to know? I mean, in an essence, sometimes I do stand by the quote in the status quo of sometimes we can't handle the truth, and I believe that we as human beings can't. Let's say, for example, if the truth was out there that we're able to extend our lifespan to like 200, 300, 400 years, how would you react knowing that you're able to live for that long? Same thing goes with, like, you know, incorporations of, you know, cures for cancer and AIDS and HIV and, you know, stuff like that. Like that right there would throw many people off, because it's a chance at life. And life is very, very precious. You can never get that back. And I really hate using the word Illuminati, because they don't really announce themselves as that at all. We have the Council of Foreign Relations, we have the Bilderbergs, we have the Trilateral Commission, we have the Rothschild family. I mean, just go look up who the Rothschild family are. Dude, their net worth is trillions. They print the money, they make the money, they are the money. All they really care about is power, man. And they control about 99 to 98% of mostly the entire planet, man. Resources and minerals and news media outlets and money and governments and stuff like that. Like, these people do that. You know, the Rothschild family, the Kissingers, the Rockefellers, the Buffetts. You know, this actually goes deeper than what you believe, because many people will say, well, if the Illuminatis if they were real, how come they're not doing anything now? Who's to say that they're not? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes in order for you to achieve a grand scheme, you're going to have to work underground, you know, like somewhere where people aren't going to know or hear from you or whatnot. So who's to say they're not devising that right now? I mean, because personally for me, man, we're only human beings, and, you know, we only conjure up what we want to conjure up, and, you know, the truth gets buried. So, I mean, I can literally just drag this on, like, for days, but, I mean, if you look a little bit more into what's really going on with Project Bluebeam and Agenda 21 and the NDAA and the sterilization of society, it's pretty cold, man. And to say that people like this don't exist, I just think you need to look deeper into what's really going on. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. So, but anyways, my friend, once again, I hope you have a great day, and thank you for the questions. And once again, thank you all for watching this episode of Fan Mail of the Week, everybody. I really hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any questions for me, drop them in the comment section below. If you guys enjoyed the episode, don't forget to hit it up with a like and a favorite. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you guys in the next episode. Take it easy, everybody. Peace!